So we are in the thick of the King of the Squared Circle 1983, the largest King of the Squared Circle I've done in 6 years within the ranks of Supreme Wrestling, and we are on the verge of the quarterfinals, which will see the winner of Ray Kingman versus Joey Flame versus Luis Montero, Knight Rider versus Rick Rumble, Sam Strong versus the winner of Ace McQueen against Wildman Sullivan, and Hollywood against either Dusty Streets or the Max Patriot. And we are all on the way to the finals. We are all on the way to King of the Squared Circle 1983, which, if King of the Squared Circle is any indication, if Wrestling Classic is any indication, rather, we are about to have the biggest event, the biggest year that I've had in 6 years within the ranks of Supreme Wrestling. But either way, this is the live tour. We are live on pay-per-view on the UK Broadcasting Company, or UK Broadcasting Prime coverage all over the world. Well, I say that, but we don't have coverage in Mexico, Japan, Australia. Mexico, Japan, Europe, which is weird because we have coverage in the UK, so I don't know why we wouldn't have coverage in Europe, but I guess it's the UK Broadcasting Prime, so I guess that makes sense. But either way, we got a little bit of everything featured on the show. We got the King of the Squared Circle, we got Sam Keith, we got a 10-man battle royal, and the second match of Chief Two Eagles within the ranks of Supreme. But without further delay and without further ado, let's jump in and see what happens with the live tour. About as you would expect, especially considering the fact that Max Patriot was down in... Especially with the fact that the Max Patriot was down in Southeast, where he made his name as a part of the Florida promotion. But Dusty Streets advances to the next round of the tournament. Dusty has been impressing me with his in-ring performances recently, as has the Max Patriot. I'm not going to fault him. But Dusty advances to fight Hollywood in the next round. Speaking of Hollywood, Hollywood makes it clear that his goal is the World Heavyweight Championship, and he will go through anyone if it means getting his opportunity to finally become World's Champion. Even if it is the prime suspect, the prime star within the All-Star team, that being Dusty Streets. Rocky officially sets down the challenge against Slater White. Rocky Streets wants a shot at the television championship. He wants to become a singles champion for the first time in over a decade since he started in Supreme, as the only title that Rocky has held in Supreme is the is the tag team titles with his kids. Sam Keith, the ascension of Sam Keith, much like the ascension of Slater White, more Slater White and Dredd, Sam Keith, Slater White, and Dredd, I will credit the ascension of those three to my creative director, because Luis Montero, I will take the credit for it because I'm the one that put him in the feud with Mickey Starr. But those other three, I will credit my creative director for, specifically Sam Keith and Slater White. But Sam Keith is also in what is going to be his first serious feud because Ray Pulver, the MMA crossover, made his debut, his long-awaited debut in Supreme. I say long-awaited because I've had him under contract for at least 2 3 weeks, and I have not done anything with him. But this is his first appearance. Straight as he sucks, as he knocks down, rocking Sam Keith, selling his MMA background and selling him as somebody that should be feared and not treated as just another guy trying to transfer over. But Sam Keith ran his mouth and Ray Pulver shut him up. The Goldstein Law make it clear that they accepted the challenge from the Deadly Gamble for one more match for the tag team titles, but that there is an added stipulation to the match to make it different this time than it was back in December when Deadly Gamble challenged them the first time. But Dread and Wildman, this is not them, this is their manager, this is their lawyer, Artie Goldstein. Speaking of Ace, though, Wildman Sullivan advances in the King of the Squared Circle tournament as Wildman defeats Ace McQueen. Wildman again impresses with his in-ring performance at a 95. I don't know what to expect from Wildman Sullivan in the future, but what I do know is I'm hoping to God his match with Sam Strong lives up to expectations and doesn't falter. Ace and Blackjack want to know what the stipulation is, and the stipulation is that the loser, if they lose this time, they are given one more opportunity, but if they lose this time, if they lose and do not walk away with the tag team titles, that is it for them as a tag team. They're done. Meaning they retire as a tag team. It is at the point where Blackjack is barely able to compete in a singles match and a tag team match. And with that being said, it's time, with Blackjack's stamina at a 19 and Ace McQueen's stamina just getting worse, it's time for them to step away from the ring and retire. But now we move to Aries Titans, and Aries is trying to Aries is basically echoing the sentiment that we saw at the end of Slamfest last week, where he seemed worried because his insurance policies, all three of them, failed. Hagar got eliminated by Ray Kingman, Kronos got eliminated by Sam Strong, and Abel got eliminated by Mickey Starr. Aries wants to figure out the Ray Kingman problem, but Angus MacLeod steps in and lets Aries know that he wants to see how this plays out. He wants to see how this plays out, and he doesn't want it taken care of. Chief Two Eagles succeeds in his second match as a part of Supreme Wrestling. I'm bringing him along slow because there's no reason to jump right in, because there's nothing to jump right in with. You know, because I'm not just going to wing it and, feed him to somebody. I know what he's capable of in places where he's popular, and I know what he's capable of overall because I've seen what he does in APW in Texas, but we were in the Southeast. So we were in a place where he wasn't necessarily known. So, maybe the idea is bringing him along in places where he's not necessarily, getting him over in places where he's not necessarily known yet, to then measure it up with the places that he's already known in, if that makes sense. Because, he did have a great performance. And this is the interesting one. Because this 10-man battle royal I honestly don't remember the last time I actually had a battle royal to begin with. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to throw the 10-man battle royal onto the pay-per-view or onto the show, because I don't honestly remember the last time I actually had a 10-man battle royal. And this also showed the debut of Rudolph Gray, or the return of Rudolph Gray. But as you see right here, we got a new champion. And we also move on where Ray Kingman says, I heard what was said earlier, and I agree. I'm interested to see what happens, and I'm interested to see what plays out, because I got all the momentum in my direction. I got all the momentum going my way. And Angus, it's like I said, if I had a little bit more time, I would have been the one walking away with the World Heavyweight Championship. I would have been the one to finally defeat you. And fact is, Angus, with just a little bit more time, the result would have been different. The results would have been different, I promise you that. Honestly, with them in a position where, with them in a position where, is
You picking up that at Jackie's or was Brian?
I haven't heard anything.
Gotcha. Well, I figured maybe whoever goes, maybe I'll go too, and then we'll try kind of.
The sight of this match makes me wonder if maybe there's a future with this type of rivalry between Ray Kingman and Joey Flame. But either way, another solid match, and Ray Kingman lives up to expectations, because now the expectation is a match like this from Ray Kingman. But we also increased in popularity in 20 regions. I just wanted to go over, before we wrapped up the show, I wanted to go over my expectations for the first half of 1983. And my explanation as to why that battle royal took place. With with King of the Squared Circle right around the corner and this expected tag team match taking place, we have the Women's Championship occupied at least until March or April. The tag team titles are going to be are currently occupied up until, I believe they're actually occupied up until Supreme Challenge, which is July. The U.S. title is occupied up until June, with Alex Pierce and Marcus McKing going back and forth with each other. That match is actually not supposed to take place, with the fact that Goldstein Law assisted Hollywood Mike Kinsey in defeating Mickey Starr at Wrestling Classic. Now Goldstein Law has to answer to Strong Star. they have to answer to Strong Star, which is going to eventually lead to which is going to eventually lead to um which is eventually going to lead to Mickey Star and Sam Strong against Wildman and Dread after a little while, which is also going to assist in helping Dread gain a little bit more popularity because him in segments with two of the most popular people in the company in Mickey Star and Sam Strong is only going to benefit the kid and is not going to hurt him. But I have plans all the way up until the end of the year, pretty much. This was actually supposed to happen last year. As you see, it was booked 1 year, 3 months ago. But I think that the reason why it never happened is because the King of the Squared Circle did not take place. I mean, not the King of the Squared Circle. That pay-per-view was put on hiatus and did not actually take place. Last year was all about heel turns, pretty much, with the likes of Dusty Streets turning heel, with the likes of Hollywood turning heel, with Kronos and Hagar turning heel to reform Aries Titans. This year is all about babyface turns, as Luis Montero is going to turn babyface. Luis Montero is turning babyface. Angus is going to turn babyface. And Wildman Sullivan is going to switch back to being a babyface. So it is all about the face turns in 1983, but also the fact of the matter is, as I pointed out for the pay-per-view, as I pointed out on the upcoming pay-per-view, every title picture is occupied. Honestly, I would say except the Shooting Star title. And I understand that, you know, I can say, oh, Slater White is occupied because he has Rocky Streets, but Slater White is also not defending the title as much as he should be. I mean, he is going to defend the title this week on Slamfest, but I just wanted a little bit more. I wanted an experiment. I wanted something positive. And what I would also say is the reason why nobody in this picture has gained any achievements towards the Hall of Immortals is because when Angus won the title, that was before we were a major company, before we were a big company. When Wildman and Dread won the tag team titles, that was before we were a big company. Marcus might have actually gotten an achievement. Yeah, Marcus got an achievement towards because he won a title after we were a big company. And I just wanted to clarify this for those who might not be aware. No. Database. No. This. Hall of Immortals, Major Championship, Epic Championship, Headliner, Show Stealer, Years of Glory, and Year of Glory, and National Icon. Reach, iconic levels, popularity 90 or above throughout an entire game area, meaning they would have to be a 90 in the United States. Or, yeah, not in the United States. Wrestler of the Year, has been involved in a legendary 99 or 100 match in a big company, headline a historic or legendary event in a big company, which I have a couple historic or legendary events throughout the year, primary title defense. That might actually be Athena. And won a primary title, which means that whomever wins. Oh, wait, what am I doing? I'm going into a new game. I wanted to jump back in to. I gotta begin the game. Start the game. I hit the wrong button because I don't usually do anything outside of the game. We just gotta click back once we're ready. Continue. This is what I wanted to click on. Events. Highly regarded. Highly regarded. Big Time Live is a historic event. Battle Bowl is normal. Supreme Challenge is only highly regarded. Titanfall is the first year, highly regarded, highly normal. So the only historic event is Big Time Live, right now. And if the Women's Championship is not primary, it is floating, it should be primary. Because it is the world title of the women's division. Unfortunately, Athena would have to lose the title then win it back for it to count towards the Hall of Immortals. If I'm correct. But either way, that's the reason why. It's because even though I could easily make it where, oh, you know, this or that, blah, 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 I chose to go a different way and, you know, basically give those who will not have much going on a little extra something to do. But either way, if you want to see more from SWF, show it in the views, because I appreciate the support you guys have been showing on Let's Play TEW videos, and I will keep posting them because I'm enjoying them. Simply put, as much I enjoy putting them up simply as much as you guys enjoy watching them. So I do appreciate that, and I will see you guys in the next one.